Police Story 3 Supercop is joy on film. Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh star together in an incredible comedy action extravaganza. It tells a fairly straightforward story that nevertheless spans genres and pushes the limits of what the human body can do. It begins as a buddy cop comedy, turns into an escape heist, slapstick, explosive jungle action including a cameo by Hong Kong legend Lo Lieh, spy ring infiltration, rom-com, and finally an action finale that features a helicopter, a train, and many cars. The plot. A couple cops, one from Hong Kong and one from the PRC, infiltrate a triad gang to bring it down. Not very complicated. This was the film that broke me into Chinese language cinema, though admittedly through a French dub. Jackie Chan was on a roll in the early 90s, making great films back to back. Rumble in the Bronx, the Police Story quadrilogy, Operation Condor, Crime Story, the list goes on and on. This led him to a number of American films, which I'm less a fan of, but which were popular. He pretty much mastered combining hard-hitting action and character-driven slapstick. I don't always enjoy Chinese comedy, but Jackie Chan really pulls it off here, as he did in his other 90s hits. On that note, if you haven't seen Operation Condor, you need to at least Google the final wind tunnel fight scene. I won't say there's a direct line from Jackie Chan's 1990s films to the Mission Impossible series, but they do share that same affable energy and jaw-dropping, audience-punching action. The stunt work in this mostly is done by Chan and Yeoh, and it will blow your mind. Zip-lining across the Chinese countryside, hanging from helicopters, jumping off a building to a hanging ladder.
That shot really scared. Oh, wait. Then I drop. Then I watch downstairs. It's not watch downstairs. I let the cameraman shoot me.
Motorbiking onto a moving train. The story goes that Michelle Yeoh had never been on a motorcycle before this film, and you can see it's her in many of the shots in the insane motorcycle versus train sequence. The action in Supercop is top-notch, and Michelle Yeoh is better physically than I've ever seen her here, like in a butt-kicking way. When I first saw this, a Cantonese friend who was raised in the southeastern diaspora said that she thought the contrast between Maggie Cheung and Michelle Yeoh was meant to highlight the different standards for femininity, the girly-girl antics of Jackie's Hong Kong girlfriend versus the no-nonsense professionalism of Michelle Yeoh's mainland cop. Now, I can't vouch for that, but it is true that Cheung's character is greatly reduced from the previous Police Story 2, here basically a jealous girlfriend and then a damsel in distress, whereas Yeoh is every bit Jackie Chan's equal. I would say that the contrast between mainland China and Hong Kong is a major theme of this film. Chan and his Uncle Bill are the wacky, talented outsiders dealing with the sharply trained PRC troops led by Yeoh. The irony that Chan has close ties to the PRC today, and Yeoh is from Malaysia, is like, whatever. I mean, Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man have all been British at this point. Just please never make James Bond an American. You can't look too deeply into the themes of this film, but there is a feeling of optimism about the upcoming 1997 reunification of Hong Kong with the mainland possibly working out. This flew in the face of most Hong Kong cinema at the time, which cast a more apprehensive gaze at the political and cultural implications of rejoining. Supercop leaps right past the politics.
I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about Cuba, China. I don't like these kind of things. In a movie, very clean. So this is why in China government, when I said we're making a movie about in China, they just very easy to prove everything.
In recent years, Chan has been outspoken in defense of Beijing, so Supercop's hopeful tone is not too surprising. Much more is made, as I just mentioned, about the cultural differences. Obviously, British culture had its influence on Hong Kong, queuing, rarely jaywalking, that sort of thing. And the city's cultural base is still steeped in Cantonese culture. But a history of immigration from the diaspora and refugees from the mainland, especially in the 60s and 70s, created a completely new culture in Hong Kong. Very little remains of the Hong Kong of fishing villages and pirate nests that the English acquired in 1841, beyond some villages on the fringes of the islands. Hong Kong has become its own thing. It's hip, slangy, freewheeling in its own unique way, and this is the conflict between Chan and Yeoh, Hong Kong and the PRC. The movie sees the reunification as a massive version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the quirky, relaxed cousin joining its traditional, well-regimented family. Regardless of how well they work together, Hong Kong and the PRC do end the film bickering about who gets to keep the drug money they've confiscated. I don't want to scare anyone off the film. It's no more political than James Bond and Tomorrow Never Dies, also with Michelle Yeoh. It is one of the most delirious action films with real-life stunt work that you'll ever see. The Asian version, if you can get it, is a bit longer and features more appropriate music, both changes which really annoyed Jackie Chan, but the Asian version lacks the great Devo song in the closing credits. Even in the American dub, Supercop is 91 minutes you will not regret.